My name is Bo Petersen. My legal name is 𝗙𝗺𝗻𝗁. I applied for funding as an individual, and my play is called Pieces of Me, which was written by me. This tour is really aimed at the youth, and it's to open up a conversation linked to their curriculum from grade 10s and I think right all the way through to grade 12s, where they're studying apartheid. And the play hopes to open a conversation because it's looking at the effects and the legacy of how apartheid really affected individuals within a family.
Yeah, I knew the whole family.
One of the other objectives is also to bring the play to an older audience that usually comes in the evening. The play deals with secrets, with identity, and what has been very interesting, that there are a lot of audience members who've had this experience. It's been an experience of their own lives or their parents. So it really has opened up a lot of conversation.
How did you feel and how did you process when you discovered, and I'm just going to be coloured about it because I am coloured. You must all be true. How did you deal with that?
The impact in the community, we have been taking the play to underserved communities. And for a lot of children, this is the first time they're seeing live theatre. It's exposing them to that. My cousin, who accompanies me on the keyboards, it exposes them to how they can see how music can underscore a play and add to it. The impact on the community has really been quite profound. We have talkbacks after each performance, and there have been a lot of people have felt a space for them to talk and to share stories. Some people share stories with us that they've never told anyone before. So I think today we had a performance and a woman said, this is the way that healing will begin, because people must talk about this. And yeah, I agree. So without the NAC funding, this tour would not have happened. We are incredibly indebted to it. It's enabled us to go to underserved communities, and we've been in the rural areas. As I said before, you know, performing for children who very often have never been exposed to live theatre. And there's been a lot of interest afterwards. Kids have come up to us to see the keyboard. People have asked me how they could get involved in acting, asking me my process of acting. So I think without NAC, this would not have happened. Well, it would be wonderful if we could get some more NAC funding for next year. I've had a lot of interest from Johannesburg, Gauteng, people who came to see our production last year at the market. So, I mean, ideally, I would love to go on a national schools tour because it really does reach across the board audience. I think the one thing that has been wonderful is that a lot of children have said to us that, yes, they have studied apartheid, but they didn't quite understand the implications of the brutality of apartheid. And this gives them an insight into what families have suffered, what families have given up, what families have sacrificed. So hopefully this can continue. The job opportunities that have been given we have had 2 stage managers. My cousin, who has accompanied me on stage on his keyboards, 𝗙𝗺𝗺𝗰𝗴, who's been my producer, and then Bonga, who's been helping us with Instagram, our social media, and also getting this video together. So this project, because it is autobiographical, has impacted me quite profoundly. It's also brought me and my cousin together on stage. What I'm trying to look at as well in the play is intergenerational trauma. And definitely, I feel that I've started to heal. Also, it's just wonderful being able to, I grew up in a small town, And so the first time I saw professional theatre was when I was in grade 12. And I remember that very clearly. And so for the schools that we've been to up the West Coast, it does feel like I'm giving something, which is a big part of me.
Impacted you?
Well, firstly, the project has created an opportunity for employment. I was able to work, and I'm grateful for that. Second of all, it's a very important story that needs to be told and needs to be heard. In school, you only learn about one point of view, which is more on the political side, and you don't hear about what families had to go through. And it's also made me think and question more into my family and our history, and wanting to explore and dive a bit more into that and understanding how the connections can be made, what I and my family had gone through as well. So that is definitely a way that it has impacted me to make me think about my own family.
Yes, the project Pieces of Me speaks to my heart. And when I met my cousin for the first time, I think I was 30 years old, I really didn't dream that it would turn out to be such a journey into our past. And all the troubles that our parents, our fathers went through, all under apartheid. I feel that what she has done by speaking up was to release those trouble spirits of my parents, my father and her father, and to let them rest in peace. And I also find a lot of pleasure in doing this, because now that we are dealing with young people, I've been dealing with young people all my life in music, and it's always difficult to carry across a message. Now we're getting the young people to talk, and to ask the right questions and to investigate. And as they say, what they learn at school is like 2D, but what they see on the stage is 3D. So my cousin, I just take my hat off to her for this wonderful project.
Positively impacted you?
It's been a huge privilege to be working on Pieces of Me over the last couple of years, and particularly in this iteration, because the funding from the NAC has made it possible for us to take this production to the children and young people who really need to see it. I feel very strongly that South African youth need to understand our past. They need to understand where we come from, and they need to understand it on a granular level. And this play does it in the most beautiful way. I have watched this play many, many times. Every time I watch it, I get teary. I connect completely to the story, to the struggles that are reflected in it, and to this very painful history that we all carry and that we all have some perspective on. And I just think it's such an important window into what is shaping us still today in this country for young people. So it's a great honor to be working on this project.